Hey everyone, Draco Prime 220 here. And yeah, I said I was gonna keep up to date on making some more videos, so I decided, hey, I got some spare time. I'm gonna make another video. Um, if you have not been on my channel, my description is pretty straightforward. I'm a fan of multiple things. And if you notice, one of them is My Little Pony. Yep, you heard it. I am a fan of My Little Pony. Now, I'll be honest, I've never been able to get to any conventions or anything like that. But I am going to give a little, history on how I was introduced, how I found them. Back in 2012 or 2013, I was in a very dark place. I lost my Nana, I lost one of my aunts, and my social life wasn't the best. I'm not going to go into any details, but it wasn't the greatest. I, kept to myself. I sometimes would drown myself in my phone, my video games, or take walks. Well, one day, better yet, let me start from that. As I should tell everyone, I am a big fan of mythological creatures. Cyclops, dragons, ogres, trolls, griffins, chimera, the phoenix, Pegasus, unicorns. Dragons are my main favorite, but, I grew to love a certain group of ponies that helped me out through a very rough time in my life. I had Netflix at the time, still do, and I was looking through Netflix trying to find what to watch, and I saw this purple unicorn and this little purple and green dragon on the screen, and I'm like, At first, I'll be honest, I didn't really pay any mind to it. Sorry about that. One of my cats were playing with my earbuds. Anyway, at first I didn't pay no mind to it. So I kept looking and looking. And then maybe like an hour later, I saw a different image. It looked similar, but it was a rainbow Pegasus. And I'm like, this looks kind of interesting. I'm gonna see what it is. Before I go any further, I will admit when I was very young, I do remember seeing Generation 1 of My Little Pony reruns on Cartoon Network. I do remember seeing the movie a long time ago when I was a little kid. The schmooze creeped me out. Like, ugh. That guy freaked me out. Yeah. But after that, I kind of got into more other things, like dinosaurs and Godzilla and stuff. So, for a while, I wasn't really into My Little Pony. In a way, I kind of forgot about it. But around 2012, 2013, I was just in a very sad place. And when I saw the Rainbow Pegasus on my screen, I'm like, okay. It said My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. So I decided to go and just give it a look, just seeing if it was something I would like. Well, I can safely say, after the first two episodes, the first two-parter of Season 1, I was hooked. And I binged, I'm not kidding you, I binged all of Season 1 that rest of that whole day into the night. I do know at the time, I believe they did have Seasons 1 through 5, I believe. I really can't remember, but I kind of do, but Netflix has changed a lot, so yeah. I grew to love the characters. I loved Twilight. I thought all the characters were good. I loved Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, Rarity, Applejack. I loved them all. They were so different, but yet that did not hold them back from becoming great friends. And I thought Nightmare Moon was a very iconic villain. She was giving me very Maleficent vibes, especially when she says like that first little horse joke, "Stand back, you fools!" Like similar to Maleficent when the king says, "Seize that creature," and she raises her arms and green flames emit from her. So yeah, Nightmare Moon was giving me a lot of Maleficent vibes, and I really do consider Maleficent one of my favorite villains. My first number one favorite villain is Scar, because, even though he does get defeated at the end of the movie, he accomplished way more than Ursula, Jafar, or any of the other villains attempted. Like, I'm sorry. They can't at least say, I took out one of the main protagonists. They can't sit there and say that. Scar can. But anyway, I loved the music. I loved the lessons they taught. I did like, the usual antics, the slice of life episodes. I really liked the two-parters. And I liked how during the season certain things would be connecting to the season finales. I'm gonna say this: Cozy Glow is Darla frickin' Dimple from Cats Don't Dance. I really hope some people know what that movie is. It's highly underrated. It's good. It's a really good movie, but yeah, Cozy Glow reminded me of Darla Dimple. Not just her cutesy wootsy attitude, but the faces. Like, when she got mad, that's not a kid. That's a psychopath. That is a plotting, scheming psychopath with little tiny wings who has a baby face. And I'm like, oh, geez, we're screwed. Like, seriously, she was able to trick the main six and everything. I don't even know if she is a kid from certain videos I've seen. Some people are starting to speculate, was she a kid or was she just a small adult? I don't know. I don't think we'll ever find out. Tyrek. I don't remember much of the original Tyrek. But I'll say this. That fight between Twilight Sparkle and Tyrek was one of the big highlights of Friendship is Magic for me. And honestly, it really showed when an alicorn is ticked off, you really don't want to be in the line of fire. You really don't. Like, no. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to walk away from it. You're going to be either in the ground or a pile of ash. Either way. The other big character I really did enjoy, but I actually kind of questioned his motives in Season 9, and I think you all know who I'm about to say. Discord. I actually really liked Discord. He was mischievous, he was a wisecracker, he was sarcastic. He was like Robin Williams' Genie, but without all the... He did have some pop culture references, like to Rodney Dangerfield. He was more like... I shouldn't say Robin Williams' Genie from Aladdin, but he reminded me more of Loki. Because he did get reformed thanks to Fluttershy, and you kind of did not know which way he was so unpredictable. He was the wild card of the show. You just didn't understand him. You did not know what he was going to do. And I have to say, the whole him becoming Grogar, I'm like, why? Why did he do that? You basically brought one of the villains back to life. You got two of them out of Tartarus, which is the pony equivalent of hell. Also, Tartarus is the name of, I believe, of the underworld in Greek mythology, I believe. If anyone knows, please correct me if I'm wrong. Please, in the comments below, please just let me know if I'm wrong. And then you bring in someone who is, one, hell-bent on revenge and mentally unstable. I can't see anything going wrong with that. Actually, a lot went wrong. Crap literally hit the fan in Season 9. I will say, one other character at first I could not stand was Starlight Glimmer. Yeah, when I first saw her, when she, like, is first introduced, I'm like, nah, I do not like this witch. She's trouble, like, and especially when she, like, says, you know, she's looking at the camera and all evil smiles and everything. I'm like, yeah, she was pulling some, you know, I don't know if I can say, but I think from anyone else who has seen seen people's opinions about Starlight Glimmer, I think you know what I mean. I don't want to take the chance of this video getting taken down, so I hope you guys get what I mean. What really made me not like Starlight Glimmer, like, I thought I didn't like her in her debut episodes. I was like, Twilight, will you just vaporize this crazy unicorn? It was in the Season 5 finale where she literally takes a unicorn's spell, named Starswell the Bearded, his spell of time, and I guess changes it a bit to where she's going to stop Rainbow Dash from doing the Sonic Rain Broom that literally brought all of them together. Had all of them connected. And literally, due to her messing with time, there's a timeline where Sombra's in charge, and there's a war with him. There's one where Tyr is just literally obliterating the land. There's one where Discord has just turned all of Equestria into his ultimate playground. And there's one with Changelings, where Zakor is like a leader of a rebellion. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. And Fluttershy is actually one of those rebel fighters. And I'm like, now that's pretty cool. And then there's one with Nightmare Moon. And kind of ironic. Celestia was banished into the moon. And Nightmare Moon was ruler. And poor Rainbow Dash, I don't know what's worse, losing a part of her wing, giving her a metal wing, or the buzz cut she has. I have no idea what's worse. I think both are worse. If I'd have to say what's worse, her having a metal wing. Because that's like some history right there. Like, we don't know how she lost that wing. We don't know what circumstances she went through to lose it. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, buzz cut Rainbow Dash I can live with, but seeing her with a metal wing, oof, I don't even want to know. I'm surprised no one has made like a little audio drama about that, or a little story about this alternate version of Rainbow Dash that lost her wing. I liked all the, and speaking of which, I liked all the side characters. Celestia and Luna, I don't know, I'd have to say Luna's actually my favorite. Yeah, because I think Luna is more relatable than Celestia, because Luna has been through a lot. When she returns, she's of course Nightmare Moon, gets defeated. She's not seen until Season 2, I believe, in Nightmare Eclipsed. And, Luna Eclipsed. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. Luna Eclipsed. And she's talking like how probably they would talk in those older days. One, she's trying to redeem herself. Two, she's a being from a different time period and in a new modern aesthetic. So oof, you know, I kind of, again, she wants everyone to see her that she has changed. And, you know, I can honestly connect with Luna more on that than anything. And I do like how the show does teach, you know, some creatures can be redeemed, some cannot. Like, for example, Queen Chrysalis in the season 6 finale kidnaps everyone, and it's up to Discord, Starlight Glimmer, and Trixie to literally save everyone and defeat Chrysalis. And I was actually thinking, please, we have so many redeemed villains, quite a few redeemed villains. Can we at least have one that's like, I'm bad for the sake of being bad? And yeah, Starlight offers her hoof to Chrysalis, and Chrysalis just smacks it away. And I'm like, wow, they actually went that way. I'm kind of impressed. I just grew to love the show so much, and like I said, the messages they were giving, the music, the songs, some of the character arcs that these characters were going through, it warmed my heart. And when season 9 was announced as the final season of the series, of the show entirely, I have to admit, I think like a lot of us, we were kind of sad to see it go. But, you know, all good things have to come to an end, unfortunately. That's how things work. I will be honest, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this. When the final episode came up and Twilight's all tall, and I'm like, wow, that's one hell of a growth spurt. Like, really, like how many years was it since she got made ruler and grew? Like, was it because Luna and Celestia gave a crown that was, like, theirs merged together? I don't know. But, the final song, The Magic of Friendship Grows. I never cried so hard, you know, I haven't cried hard like that in a long time. And I was really hoping not to. But just seeing how each of these characters grew, and how, you know, when they are singing the final verses of the song, you see, like, everyone they've interacted with, you know, it was beautiful, but it was sad. And then seeing the final scene of the book closing, it was like saying goodbye. I was crying, but on the other hand, I had no regrets. I loved the show. Even though I was a little late to the party, I loved it. And I love it even more how a show about pastel ponies were able to help people for the better, make them follow their dreams and become like artists or voice actors or animators. And it's amazing. I don't know many shows that could have that much of an impact. In a way, it's amazing. I can't really find any other word to use. I haven't watched many Gen 1 episodes. I have seen Escape from Midnight Castle. I do plan on watching a few others when I get the time. Now, if you turn off this video, that's your own opinion. But I have 3 favorite generations. Gen 1, Gen 4, and yep, Gen 5. Wait, before you go turning off this video, I will say Gen 5 is the most overhated generation of My Little Pony. The hate is... Look, I get it. It's one thing if if you don't like it, if it's not your thing, I get it. But I've seen videos and things on the internet where there is utter hate. Like, in the one example I can give is the voice actress for Misty Bright Dawn, who I consider one of my favorites. She was a very relatable character. I liked her design, her hairstyle, her soft, gentle voice. But anyway, I did come to find out that she went on stage at one of these cons or conventions, or pony cons or conventions or something, and she was booed at. Look, it's one thing to have an opinion behind the doors of your own home, but when you're in public, come on, guys. Show a little respect. Be a little bit more courteous. This is what I mean. People ruin things that others may like, and they don't have that right. It's one, yes, I get it. One thing, it's like, I don't like it, it's not my thing, but you're going to go and boo an actress who I think brought to life one of the most realistic characters of Gen 5, what she went through? That's disrespect. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I'm going to just say this. To those who said boo to the voice actress of Misty Bright Dawn, grow up. Seriously. Grow up and be respectful. It's one thing to have your own personal opinions, but show some courtesy when you're in public. Seriously. People these days. Anyway, Gen 5 is actually one of my favorite generations too, like Gen 1 and Gen 4, like I said previous. When the new Generation movie came out, when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, and I read the description how all the ponies separate, I'm like thinking, what happened? What happened to where all of Twilight and her friends' work just went down the drain? Of course, we didn't get really any answers at all in the movie, but in Make Your Mark, honestly, I'll be honest, I prefer Make Your Mark more than Tell Your Tale. Excuse me, sorry. But I'll be honest, Tell Your Tale was growing on me. I think it was the story quality, and we're going to get to that. And also the animation. The animation was getting a bit better, similar with Make Your Mark. The special was like very stiff. The animation would look a little off, but it was improving. And I loved the characters. In A New Generation, the animation was crisp. I liked it. I even liked the little touch, like the ear wiggle and stuff like that, like certain little gestures that you would note, like you notice. I have to say, I liked them all. I liked Zip, I liked Sunny, Hitch, Izzy, Pip. Pip, I'll be honest, for the longest time was my least favorite. She was just, like, I'll be honest, just her being in her phone and just wanting everyone for the views and the content, she was kind of too realistic in that aspect. But I will admit, over the course of time, like in Make Your Mark, Tell Your Tale, she grew on me. And I have to admit, she's really good at making hairstyles. That I will say. And Sparky. Oh, let's talk about the little green dragon. I've seen a lot of hate over Sparky too, and I'm like, he's a baby. He's not Spike's age where he's a little kid who can talk and talk more better, and, he's not that. He's not Spike 2.0. He's a baby. Goo goo gaga, what do you expect? And I didn't mind Sparky. I thought he had a lot of cute moments. There was one moment in particular where I'm like, wow, My Little Pony, you're going dark. And people hate the show. Why? I get it. You know, people are saying how it was going against Gen 4's lore. I personally don't think it was. I don't think it was. I thought the lore was interesting because we don't know what happened after the book closed and then Gen 5 started. A lot of stuff could have happened. And I'll say it, I found Gen 5 very entertaining. It was a good show. Some of the songs were really catchy. And some of the episodes were quite emotional, mainly revolving around Misty. Now let's talk about the big bad of Gen 5. The first big bad. Opaline Arcana. I will honestly say in the beginning, she was like, I was not really interested because she was like this typical villain. And I'm like, oh boy, she can be one of those. Well, a certain episode came around called Missing the Mark. Opaline went from 0 to 100 in a matter of 25 minutes to a half an hour. And this is when it was cemented into my mind that Opaline is not to be screwed around with. She is a villain through and through. I even think she puts Queen... And I'm going to say this. She puts Queen Chrysalis to shame. Queen Chrysalis was only willing to rip off Spike's wings. Opaline, I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to first drain all his dragon fire, and then I am going to proceed to drop him off my tower and say this sadistic little sarcastic line. That's a long drop. She was going to kill a baby in a My Little Pony cartoon. And from there on in, Opaline just got worse. Like, she showed more of her villainy, her cruelty. She even put Starlight Glimmer to shame when it came to stealing cutie marks. Oh, you got a cutie mark vault? I got something better. I got a whole castle full of cutie marks. So, and that even makes me wonder, did Opaline find something of Starlight Glimmer's? Like, maybe a spell or a diary about what Starlight Glimmer did or something? And I'm just guessing at that point because how would she know to steal cutie marks? I'm personally thinking that Opaline found something of Starlight Glimmer's that helped her learn the spell. And probably was by accident. Probably Starlight Glimmer wrote in a journal about what she did before she met Twilight and her friends. And that's maybe how Opaline learned it. Or it's maybe because she's just an alicorn, very skilled at magic, and she knew the spell the whole time. I don't know. I will admit, Opaline really grew on me as a character. Like, some people have been saying there was lost potential. Maybe a little bit. The way she was getting towards, like, from chapter 4 to 6, she was on a rampage. And I will say this. Hitch impressed me. Actually, they all did, but I think the one that impressed me the most was Hitch. Because he was an Earth Pony. And he actually managed to hold his own for a little bit against Opaline, using his Earth Pony magic, which I'm guessing Earth Ponies always had magic to a certain degree, but it's more used in Gen 5, which I kind of think is pretty cool because it's kind of expanding, like, spoilers, there's a hologram of Twilight who says that magic is evolving, growing stronger. So I'm going to guess maybe that Earth Pony magic is an evolution of what maybe they used to have. But Hitch impressed me when he was holding his own against Opaline for as long as he did. I even like when Izzy tricked Opaline using Senor Butterscotch and made Senor Butterscotch look like her, and tricked Opaline, throwing a tub of, I'm guessing, jam at her. And of course, a nice callback because there was glitter and there was a little tennis ball stuck on her horn, so a nice little callback there. Everyone was teaming up, like throwing fruit and everything at her, and Opaline just proved to be really intimidating, but I really do like how Izzy then outwitted her again and was like no, and Opaline was like, wait, what's this? And she made a false cutie mark. I like it. And I also like the fact that Izzy wasn't afraid to almost run Opaline over. I love it. The song, The Magic in Us, was a very good song. Very uplifting. It was a very powerful song. Am I saying it was as good as The Magic Friendship Grows? No. This one was uplifting. That one was like a tearjerker song and saying goodbye. The final special of Make Your Mark introduced the Auroracorns. Well, actually, before I get into that, I do like all the Gen 5 ponies, the Gen 5 6. The Gen 5 main 6. If I had to rank which ones I liked more, I'd have to say Sunny, Misty, Izzy. Wait a minute. Sunny, Misty, Zip, Izzy, Hitch, and Pip. That's how I liked them in that order. Because I actually liked it that, I just liked them. They were really good characters. I think Zip was pretty cool, like being a detective. That was pretty cool little thing she had. She had the gear, the gear and everything, and I liked that. Before I get to the Auroracorns and the final special, I will mention that one Gen 4 character does show up. And it's not the one I was expecting. I don't think any of us was expecting this guy to show up. Spike the Dragon. Spike is now a Dragon Lord. I do have some questions about that. Like, when I think about him being a Dragon Lord, on one hand, it's good. He was at first, Twilight's #1 dragon assistant. Now he's Dragon Lord. And it really did show how much Opaline messed up with everything, that she was getting so bad to the point where Spike had to leave his friends. My question is, dare I ask, did he get to say goodbye to them? Like, when they got old and they had to pass on. Did he even get to say goodbye to them, or was he asleep at that time? And the other thing is, what took it for him to become Dragon Lord? Did Ember get killed by Opaline? Because from his cave paintings, it looks like Opaline Spike did say that she attacked the dragons. Was one of them Ember? And Ember did not survive, and Spike had to be chosen to be Dragon Lord? It makes me ask a lot of questions. Now to the final special. The Auroracorns, I have to say, were a nice addition. They were very unique, with all the sparkles, and their horns looked a little different. It also introduced this special a new villain, Allura. And I have to say, she was actually pretty good. Like, she wasn't at the levels of Opaline, but she, I liked her design a little bit more so in Tell Your Tale than Make Your Mark. In Make Your Mark, she looked a little weird. But it was kind of cool having like a leopard with wings, with ice powers and hypnotism. I have to admit, when they were smiling, like when they're under her control, they have these creepy smiles. And I'm thinking, and I'm just, there were a couple times where I'm like, can you stop coming towards the camera, please? Like, and of course, we meet, the main two Auroracorns we meet are, oh boy, I can't remember the one, but I know the other one is Comet. Boy, I can't remember the other one. I know she's purple. She's a lot more taller than Comet, but I thought Comet was pretty cool. He was kind of fun. He was fun. He's like the nerdy one, making the hot chocolate with the glasses. Yeah, I thought, but let me tell you the one character I could not stand. Twitch. You know, Angel Bunny was, I found a new one to not like. I thought Angel Bunny was bad, but Twitch? Instead of making Bugs Bunny Hassenpfeffer, make this one Hassenpfeffer. You know, at least Twitch deserves it. Twitch is just, are you sure he's not a weasel wearing a rabbit skin? Because he looks so weaselish, like, like, I'm like, I hate this guy. Like, can someone just turn him into Hassenpfeffer, get Yosemite Sam, and have him cooked? You know, couldn't stand the little furball brat. Then, of course, Make Your Mark is canceled. We'll get to that. Tell Your Tale Season 1 is still going. I have to admit, the scheduling with that show was a bit off. Like, they release an episode basically spoiling the end of a Make Your Mark chapter. Seriously, Hasbro, get better people to schedule the shows more properly. Thank you very much. Now, Tell Your Tale was doing good. I was actually enjoying it. Season 2, though, was upping the quality. And the lore, we were all about going to Skyros and finding the Alicorns and dealing with Allura, who is actually trying to get the Nova Charm to get home to her brother. Well, we were enjoying it, and, well, Hasbro had to go all Queen of Hearts and say, off with its head, and cancel it. Everything. And I'm going to say this, Hasbro made this, that was one of Hasbro's stupidest decisions they've ever made. They canceled it prematurely, did not give a proper ending. A lot of questions were left unanswered, which is not smart, by the way, Hasbro. You literally left us hanging, like, what happened to the Yaks, the Hippogriffs, the Griffins, the Changelings? You know, what happened between Gen 4 and before Gen 5? You left us so many questions unanswered, and you didn't even have the ability or the decency to give this show a proper ending. You just canceled it. Boy, I'm sorry, Hasbro, whoever made that decision was stupid. Stupid with a capital S. You know, making Gen 5 was like, you know, planting a tree. Or a flower. Or a rose bush. You let it grow to its full potential. You don't just freaking chop it prematurely, all because it's not looking the way you want it to be. And Tell Your Tale was finding its footing. It was finding its footing. If you gave it a chance, it could have become something good. Really good. I'm not saying another friendship is magic or lightning in a bottle a second time. That's kind of hard to do. Like getting lightning in a bottle a second time. But it could have been, hey, it could not have been the most overly hated generation. But it could have been, hey, that was actually a good time. But nope, Hasbro, you went all Queen of Hearts on it and cut it down prematurely. Basically, like I just said before, it's like a flower plant or a rose bush. You should let it grow to its full potential. You don't cut it prematurely because it's not coming out the way you want it to. And right now, we are waiting for pony content. We have been getting small, tiny tidbits of Gen 6, and there is a supposed live-action pony film coming. Please do right by it. If you do it the way you did with Sonic, I'll watch it. I'll give it a chance. But if it looks like how a Sonic originally looked, no thanks. We do know that Boom Studios is making more pony comics in 2026. And according to Hasbro, 2026 is going to be the year of the pony. And according to a YouTuber I've seen named New Leaf, I strongly recommend you to his channel. Just type in New Leaf MLP and you should see him. He's a blue alicorn, I think, with a cowboy hat. He even had a small little video about ponies returning in 2026. And it was from an actual article from a magazine. He has it all in that video. So right now, we're going through a very bad dry season for pony content. But, yeah, that's how I was introduced to My Little Pony. I have no regrets. I still love the show. I will watch an episode from time to time. I even sometimes go back to Make Your Mark. Just for the heck of it. Just, if there's nothing else I feel like doing or there's nothing else good on, I turn that on. But, here's the thing. The show is over, but the legacy that these characters have left live on. The legacy lives on. We got so many My Little Pony audio dramas that have been made by so many talented and gifted people. And I can only name a few because there's a lot. There's a lot to name. There's, of course, Musescript. There's Magpie. There's The Lost Narrator. There's Scribbler. There's Blue Heart Tattoo. There's also Sugar Cloud. There's so many. These people and so many more. Oh, and there is one I will also mention. Robin Jacks. Robin Jacks just recently put out a video, a 7-part animatic series of Gen 5. And let me tell you, it's phenomenal. Like, he's answering some questions in his own form of canon of Gen 5. And I have to say, I like the pony designs. Now, if they did a show in similar to Robin Jacks' design, I'd watch it. I'd all be down for it. Yeah, I'd freaking love it. I would watch it. Kudos to all these people I've mentioned and to Robin Jacks. You keep the legacy of My Little Pony alive with such good stories and voice talent, songs. You keep the legacy of MLP alive. And I can't thank you all enough for this. I am subscribed to quite a few of these people. And anyone who sees this video who's a fan of MLP, has never seen and maybe has not seen or heard of their videos or have heard them but never saw them, I strongly advise you to see them. Just take a look. Give them a watch. Yeah. I wish I could talk more, but my phone's on the verge of dying, so I gotta wrap this up. This is going to be my last full video for 2025. I will be seeing you all again in 2026. I wish you all happy holidays. Be safe and stay warm. Okay? So, this is Draco Prime 220 signing off. See you in 2026.